And we're streaming. Oh, did you hear that? Gads. Gads. I must be dreaming. Folks, welcome. Welcome to our Friday installment. I'm just sharing this with some music friends. Sharing it with music friends where the fun, it never ends. Music friendship in the air. Better comb your doggone hair. Wow, you better comb your doggone hair. I think that's important. Folks, happy Friday to you. Kind of a rainy day here behind the cheddar curtain. A little cold. I think it's in the 40s. Inclement. Inclement. Greetings from Annapolis Trade. Well, greetings to you, Billy Cutter. Roger, greetings to you. Roger says hi to Greg and to Dylan, and we say hi to you. Welcome to our Friday installment, folks. We're going to have a good old time playing some sweet musics. We're going to play some sweet musics for you on this Memorial Day weekend beginning Festivus. Festivus for the rest of us. Festivus, say what? Festivus for the rest of us. Matty K in the house, say what, Martin? Charlie Petra, Charlie Petra, Charlie Petra. Costa Rica in the house. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Yes, I have this gold top, and it has my Fishman pickups in it. The aftermarket ones, which are going to be available in end of June. I just like to say this summer because as I like to say during COVID hours, release dates are really more of a what? Suggestion. king for the kids. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. And as long as you got the gold top, you might as well do Hideaway. Am I right? right. Scott Taylor says, my 11-year-old daughter says hi. She says, you rock. Well, thank you very much. Tell her we appreciate that kind of positive reinforcement. Thank you very much. Get Dylan. Dylan got a Reverend T-shirt from our friends at Reverend on one of our many interactions with our friends. Patrick McManus wants to know what pedal that was. That's my Magnavibe pedal, which gives me that Magnavibe vibrato. And folks, this is a Les Paul Standard 50s edition, and it's installed with my new Fishman Fluence Gristle-tone P90 pickups in the aftermarket variety. So there's all kinds of lovely things on board this rascal. So let me just get... There's Mr. Neck Pickup in voice 1. They all, of course, they have multiple voices. Hey, fellas, sweet, sweet sound. Where's the battery? It's right back here. There it is. There's the input for it. Can you dig it? No, Toby can't come over this weekend. He bought a new house, and he's in the midst of all of that. So I think Dylan and I are going to go live tomorrow as a duo. Cause some trouble. Anyway, so... that's voice 1. Here's voice 2. Voice 1. Voice 2. Voice 3 is actually like a regular single coil, like more of a Fender style single coil. Is either this, or I can pop up this and get the out of phase. But the out of phase thing on the aftermarket version is a added feature. So it does that Peter Green wiring thing. There it is. No 60 cycle hum. These are made in such a way where the salesman and the salesman there's no 60 cycle hum. Well, the two pickups are out of phase, so is the out of phase sound. But when it's wired like this, you can go back on either volume control and get this other delicious aroma. Right? Look at that. Henry asks, is it true, Greg, that Skype lessons are free if you buy Axe from Wildwood? No, that is not true. We have not done a promotion like that, although that's a good one. That would be a good promotion, but we have not done that yet. Can you dig it? Can you pick it, lick it, roll it, flick it? We're going to try this new song. Dylan and I were messing around. I came up with this song. It's about money. I just find that, blues songs are usually about money. And, you know, we're living in strange times, financial bubble and all. I thought it'd be interesting to maybe explore the idea of course, you know, the significant other is always apparently the perpetrator of the grift. So this is about that kind of a situation, if I can remember all the words. But a good thing about playing a song for the first time is if I get it wrong, you're really not going to know unless I say, you know, a swear or something. Left it behind. You took every red cent of mine that you could find. I ain't no miser, baby, but I got no pennies left to pinch. I was still rolling in the dough. Well, loving you'd be a cinch. Loving you'd be a cinch. Some fancy wheels, but they're getting kinda old. With every click of the odometer, I can feel you growing cold. I ain't no miser, baby. I got no pennies left to pinch. If I still had money to burn, baby, loving you'd be a cinch. Loving you'd be a cinch. Said I was a millionaire, and I spent one like I could, while I could. And time took a turn. I had to start living like a working man should. Look out. $dollars to donuts. Things are good, you'd still be around. Said gambling is a waste of time. Not still. If you came from money, you must have left it behind. 'Cause you took every red cent of mine that you could find. I ain't no wiser, baby. No pennies left to pinch. If I still living high on the hall, well, loving you'd be a cinch. Loving you'd be a cinch. Loving you'd be a cinch. So jam there for the kids. New little jam there for the kids. Woo! If you came for money, you must have left it behind. Oh. So when's the release date for this one? It's straight heat. I like that kind of talk. We'll get that one recorded soon. I like that. or Toad Runner, depending on how you like Toby's going to be at IKEA tomorrow. Maybe. One never knows from what would be transpiring with this great move activity. I don't think he's I don't know if he's just in the midst of the battle. So he's probably signing all that, doing what he's got to do. Yeah, buddy. what my politics are. Guitar is a killer, and this is just an American standard. No, it's not an American standard. Gibson USA Les Paul Standard 50s a dish, whatever they call 50s, something or other. And what to give Toby for a moving gift? That remains to be seen. We're gonna have to say. We're gonna have to see what we got. When will the P90s be available? Brian, they are going to be from the official release date is June 25th. Although, as I like to say, during COVID hours, one never knows what will transpire. But that's kind of what's happening. Yeah, I'll tell you what, these pickups are killing. There's just no doubt about it. And but will Toby have an orange room? That remains to be seen. Hopefully, he will have a layer up there of which he can stream from. And then we can do some up there too, instead of him, the poor lad, having to come down here all the time. But hopefully we'll be on doing some road gigs soon as well. It seems like things are opening up a bit, Ski, for the kids. Am I right or am I right? Yes, housewarming socks for Toby would be a good thing. got nothing in the world these days. I said a young man ain't got nothing in the world these days. Well, you know, in the old days, when a young man was a strong man, all the people, they stepped back when a young man walked by. Nowadays, it's an old man that's got all the money. And a young man ain't got nothing in the world these days. God's well, doggone it. You know, the power of rock comes like a thief in the night. And the power of P90s. These are my new Fishman Fluence Gristle-tone P90s. Coming as a standalone thing that you can get. Of course, they come available in stock in my Reverend Gristle 90 guitar from Reverend. But here's some extra ones that you can get to put in whatever guitar you have, like this Lester Palfus. This Lester Palfus coming on strong. Come on strong. Lester Palfus coming on strong. How are we doing today? We're doing well, thank you. We're letting the good times roll. Kind of a windy, rainy, cold day here behind the cheddar curtain. But you know, what do you gotta do? What you gonna do when you say goodbye? Someone says, working from home this evening, UK time, falling asleep. When I remembered Greg was on, now I'm wide awake and beaming at the Thunderbolt from Leeds. Yes, there was a little Live at Leeds action going on. You know, I am a fan of The Who. I'm a fan of rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. And The Who is definitely of the highest order of rock and roll bands. Am I right or am I right, Dylan? Doggone it. Doggone it. Doggone it. Doggone it. Gone it. Gone it.
Let's do that clip of Achilles' Last Stand we always do.
Achilles' Last Stand. I gotta remember. Preface this by, I don't remember this whole thing, but we're going to do what we can anyways. Extemporaneous version of Achilles' last stand. That's it. Ba-doo-doo-doo. I like that kind of talk. Nothing wrong with it. All right. Well, thank you. We're glad you enjoy it. Let's do one more for the kids, Dylan. What should we do for a Friday launch into whatever it is? Oh, you're in the Zep mode. Well, there you have it. There you have it, folks, for the beginning of your Memorial Day weekend. Dylan and I are going to do an impromptu, well, not impromptu because we're telling you about it. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Time from the Orange Room, Dylan and I will play some jams for about an hour or so. And just to keep the Saturday thing going. It's been a while since Toby's been down because I had things going on. He had things going on. Dylan had things going on. So, unfortunately, he's not down this weekend. So it's going to be another 2 weeks before he's down. But we are going to do, Dylan and I are going to rock out. Kind of like this. We're going to call tunes and just let the good times roll. And there you have it. These are my new Fishman P90s. The Gristletone P90 pickups, they're due as a standalone thing. June 25th is the date. I'm going to stick with it, doggone it. And, of course, they're available right away in a delicious Reverend Gristle 90. You can get them already installed. Can you dig it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? All right, it's question time for either Dylan or I. You got a microphone over there, Dylan, don't you? It's questions, Q&A with Dylan and Drade at this particular juncture in time. Any questions out there in movie land, as I like to call it, movie land? What is your amp coming in ahead? Well, that's an excellent question. They're supposed to be available, but during COVID, of course, everything got pushed aside. But they are supposed to be shipping. From what I'm understanding, there should be some. Well, I would call Wildwood and say, hey, one of those heads coming. Because they make them, of course, in the Netherlands, but there's a distribution company in Canada, and then Wildwood is a dealer, so it's kind of like 3 different levels of stuff. But I would start with Wildwood. Can you dig it? It's 11 p.m. in Londinium. It's 11 p.m. in Londinium. I'm putting them on my 1960 reissue Lester Francis Paul Esquire. I'll tell you what, they sound damn good. What is Dylan's favorite kick drum pedal? Dylan, speak. Speak to the people. Speak to the people.
I'm using the Iron Cobra right now, but I do like the DW9000s as well.
There you go.
Nice kick pedals.
Any more Reverend guitars with the Gristle Master pickups coming? Well, just my versions with the Bradford Beach Blue is going to be a short run, and then there's going to be the Tosa Turquoise, which is like the one behind me. And, of course, the gold and the black is also available. Question, do you plan to visit France sometime? Well, I certainly do. It's been a while since I've been. I think the last time we were there, we played in Nancy. It's been a while since I've been to Paris, though. Lord have mercy, it's been a while. You can't hear Dylan. Oh, is his microphone off? What did you say you used?
It's plugged in, but
Well, here, let's see what we got here. We got to go because Ryan is. Here, no, I'll turn it on here. What's
it's in.
Dylan's phone? Yeah, it's muted. Now speak.
Hello.
There he is. Now say it.
Favorite kick pedal. Right now I'm using a Iron Cobra, but I do like the DW9000 pedals as well. Yes.
I also mute myself now. Well, I should be hearing it in the house. Did you unplug me back? Yeah, you unplugged me back there. Plug that into channel 1. No, in the front. There we go. Checking 1, damn 2. There we go.
Oh.
Could you hear Dylan at that juncture in time? A question out there says, yo, Dylan, lovely drumming. Which drummer first set you afire? Which was your first drummer that made
For
you?
sure, Bonham. All the Bonham stuff.
All the Bonham stuff was what tripped his trigger.
Some of my earliest memories in life is listening to that
How the West Was Won.
Yeah, that Zeppelin record that came out, the live one.
How
I
the
just
West
remember
Was
sitting
Won.
in the minivan hearing that stuff going, is this even from planet Earth? It just blew my mind.
There you go. It was How the West Was Won that took young Dylan by
Yes.
storm. It was how the West were won.
That was new at the time, right?
What's that?
That record was new at that time.
It was, yeah. That was a release, a new release from the 72 tour. It was a combination of the LA and Long Beach gigs, as I recall
They
correctly.
need to put out more of that stuff.
If I recall correctly.
Fire.
What is the it's a Model 24 Tascam that we have here, and it does a great job for us. It's our interface. It's also my mixer, monitor mixer, to be honest with you, and that's what we use when we do all the live streams with. All the live streams go through this, and it's been great for us. It's been working fantastically. Support your friends at Tascam. They make some lovely stuff. Bonham, a bricklayer from the north. He was a rascal. A story, please. A story. What kind of a story would you like? There's so many stories. The 24 can do a lot of stuff. It can indeed, Matty K. It is a delightful device. It is a delightful device. Who's the bigger Sabbath fan? I think Dylan's a bigger Sabbath fan than I am.
Yeah.
I liked Sabbath, but I wasn't as into it as I was like Zeppelin and the Perps.
Bill Ward in his day was a bad mofo.
Yes. Yes. The Les Paul story. Oh, I could tell the Les Paul story. All right, so years ago, I'm trying to think what year this would have been. When Les Paul was still obviously alive and playing at the Iridium. I think this has got to be like 2003, maybe 2003 or 4. I remember I had long hair. And I remember I was in my period where I was wearing those Hendrix dashikis. You know, those Hendrix, not like the dashikis he wore, but Hendrix prints on these long shirts. And anyway, so a buddy of mine, Joe Cassidy, who's from here originally, actually our dads were best buddies. And Joe and I were both kind of slated to follow in our father's footsteps as attorneys. I bailed out way earlier than he did. He actually went to college to that purpose and then stopped. And then went out to New York and became a very successful actor on Broadway, and where he remains to this day. Anyway, at some point, he called me up and said, great, because he also liked to rock. He liked to sing and rock like a pagan warlord. He's like, hey, I want to fly you out here, and I'm going to rent an off-Broadway theater, and we're just going to do me singing rock tunes, and I'll get guys from the pit bands around here, and we'll do it. The musicians were amazing, so I flew out there, and we rehearsed with these folks. We did everything from a little bit of Zapp to we did a Queen tune. We did all kinds of different stuff. And then my buddy John Paris lives out there, and so I hooked up with John. He came to the gig that I did, and then later that night, actually I take that back. I got in on a Monday, I think. I think it was a Monday night. Work with me, people. So John Paris had a gig at the House of Blues. Maybe that was on Sunday night. So I went to sit in with John Paris in lieu of rehearsing the next day and playing the gig with my buddy Joe. And Rusty Paul was there. So Les Paul's son was there in the crowd. And he heard me play with John, and he said, you should bring him by to sit in with Dad on Tuesday, whatever day it was. And I said, well, that would be awesome. So the next day I do my gig or whatever day it was. I did my gig. It went great. Had a great old time. And then I jumped in a cab and went across town. Wasn't that far. To go to the Iridium. And I walked in, and Les Paul's playing. He was playing his first set. I was going to be there for the second set. So he's playing. And as he's playing, I just was amazed. I went to the front counter, and I said, my name should be on the list. And they're like, right here, Mr. Koch, come on in. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So I go in, and I don't see John Paris right away. I'm just kind of looking around. The place is filled, and they're doing Chinatown. And I remember the keyboard player was doing the solo, and he was just the chorus after chorus. It was just mind-bending. He was doing all this crazy stuff. And he gets done with the song, and Les Paul goes to obviously had this shtick worked out, but I had never heard it. He looked at the keyboard player. He's like, my God, man, that solo was incredible. I mean, what's going through your mind when you're playing something like that? What are you thinking? And he's like, well, Les, you know what it's like. I'm thinking about, scales and arpeggios and chords. Well, Les, what are you thinking about when you're soloing? And Les looks at him and goes, well, I'm thinking about my wife's sister. Oh, Lester, you crazy kid. And then a few minutes go by, and he's like, we got a guy from Milwaukee here who's going to come and sit in with us. I was like, what? He's like, where's that fella? And I was like, here? And he's like, come on, John Paris, bring your buddy up. So I got up, and yes, it's John Paris of Johnny Winter fame. You are correct. So get up on stage, and we ended up doing Mystery Train. John Paris sang it, played harmonica, and then I ripped, something like that. And after I got done playing that song, he's like, holy Christ, he goes, turn that guitar over this way so I can see what the hell it is you're doing. I was like, wow. And I remembered right before we played, he looked over at me before we played the first song. He goes, you any good? And I go, well, I'm from Milwaukee. He's like, well, all right. Because he's from here, obviously. He's from Waukesha. We used to play in Milwaukee all the time. So then we played that tune, and he said that, and he's like, let's do another one, which was a good sign, because if Les didn't dig it, you were gone after one song. So then I did a version of The Love Contractor for the kids. For those of you who aren't familiar with my song, The Love Contractor, it's a lovely song. And we had a good old time. And then we hung out for the rest of the night. And after hours, everyone's gone, and it's just literally John Paris, me, and Les hanging out, shooting the shit. And then it was time for him to go, so Rusty Paul came and said, I'm going to go get the car, I'll be back. And so it's just Les, me, and John. And then we walked him upstairs, and we went out, and we got him tucked in his car and said, adios. And I looked at John Paris, I was like, well, that was quite a night. And then years later, after Les had died, the local radio station, WKLH, that I had done quite a few, I used to go in there on a monthly basis and do like little tales of the Grisselman, where I would tell stories and play some tunes and whatnot. And Les had just died, so they brought me in to tell that story. And someone emails the main disc jockey and says, I was there that night, and I've got pictures. And he posted the pictures, and I have them now. So it's awesome, because I'm sitting there playing, and I got this look on my face. John Paris is on this side, and Les is going like this. It's awesome. So it happened. So we're clear. But that all happened in the days before the pestilence hit. The days before the pestilence hit. Yes, in the days before the pestilence hit. But you are welcome for the story. What are some of Dylan's musical influences? Ask Sammy what? Your musical influences, Dylan. Speak.
Musical. That's so broad. Well, the first thing I ever played along with was some Stevie Wonder there. I remember listening to a lot of Stevie Wonder, a lot of Meters, a lot of Zeppelin, a lot of Hendrix, Cream. I was trying to think of what the first batch it was I listened. A lot of Sly and the Family Stone too.
Yes.
That was some good stuff.
Yes. And the Who. Let's not forget
the Who. Plenty of the Who. Oh my God, plenty of the Who.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of Keithy Moon.
Plenty of Keith Moon. What's for dinner? I'm glad you asked. We're having, because it's kind of a cold, rainy day, we're having soup tonight, homemade soup. Cozy autumn soup, it's called, but now it's cozy, weird spring soup. And that's what we're having. Michael Reha, my buddy, says Dylan looks like he's losing a quarantine of weight. Looking great.
Thank you.
Yes. Losing a quarantine is what we've been doing. Anthony's going to get us in trouble here. He's saying, how good was Ringo in your opinion? He was not a big Beatles fan.
As I got older, I appreciated it more. Much more. But as a youngster, I mean, after you watch, drummers like, you watch YouTube videos of Buddy Rich going wild, and Ginger Baker and all these guys, and then you hear some Ringo Starr, and you're like, I don't get it. But then as you get older, you understand that he was just playing for the tunes.
He was playing for the tune,
You
and
know?
he played.
But
them
as a youngster,
awesome.
I just thought that was about as boring as you could get, you know. But as you got older, you understand that his parts were very unique and they were very tailored to the songs. Because nobody really played like him. He kind of had his own niche that I didn't understand as a youngster. But he does have his own thing, and
Yes.
that is something to be appreciated, no doubt.
No question. Plus, he's a hell of a cool dude. I got to meet Ringo. He was a hell of a nice guy. That's a good story. Should I tell the Ringo story? I'm going to tell the Ringo story, and then we're done for the day. Someone's saying play some more songs. We've played our songs. We've played. You can actually rewind and watch all the songs we played.
That's right.
And we'll play more tomorrow at 5 p.m. Anyway, so a couple 4 years ago, maybe?
Probably.
Something like that. My buddy Steve Lukather was coming into town. And because Ringo's All-Star Band was playing. We actually were gigging that night ourselves, but I knew he was coming into town, and I was like, hey, you're going to be in town. We should get together and get a little Java or a feast or something. He's like, yeah, the plane lands at such and such a time. I'll call you when I get off the plane. I'm like, cool. So the plane lands. He texts me. He's like, hey, we just landed at the airport, but I have to go through security because, you know, Ringo has his own plane, of course. And he goes, we're headed over to the gig. Just come on down. And it was at the Summerfest grounds, so I was more than familiar with that particular area. So I showed up, and I drove in the back area, and I parked my car, and I go up to the security guard. Now, you all know, if you've ever been through this, 9 times out of 10, you're going to go, hi, I'm here to see so-and-so. I'm like, who are you? What? Wait here. And so I get out of the vehicle. I'm going up to her, and she goes, you must be Greg. I go, yes. She goes, come on in. They're waiting for you. I was like, what? So I go in, and everyone's on stage. They're doing a sound check. So we're playing. So I go, I see the tour manager goes, hey, just go over there. And Steve said, just stand by his guitar tech. So I go to the guitar tech. Hey, Greg, how's it going? I'm like, what? And then at the moment I walk there, they all turn around, and Steve goes, Greg! And he comes over, and then Bissonette turns around, who I'd worked with quite a bit, and Bissonette goes, indeed! Because we have, you know, we had done quite a bit of playing together, and he knew my lingo. And Colin Hay, who I'd also known, turns around and goes, hey! And also Ringo turns around like, well, who's this guy? And I'm like, I'm just, you know, hanging out. So they get done with their sound check, and I'm hanging out there just right on, I'm just like 10 feet away from Ringo as they're doing the sound check. And then they come over after the sound check, and I'm hanging out with Steve and Colin and Bissonette, and we're shooting the shit. And they're like, let's go back to our dressing room. I'm like, okay. So we go into the dressing room, and Steve and Colin and Bissonette were all sharing the same dressing room. So we go in the dressing room, and Colin, he goes, here, check out my guitar. So he had this Collins, like, ES330 guitar. So I grabbed it and playing it. Also, Ringo walks in. I'm like, ah! He's like, don't worry about it. He goes, have a seat. And Steve goes, you should hear Greg play. He's like, well, and he goes, come on, play something. And I'm like, oh, no pressure. And then Bissonette starts going, because he knew I did the, you know, the chicken picking stuff. So I start going. Did some variation of that. And I get done doing a bunch of stuff. Ringo leans down after I play, blah, 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 blah. He goes, I think you missed a note. And so we were laughing up a storm. He was funny as hell and very, very nice. And then he's like, you should hear his son play drums. And, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, oh, my son plays drum. He's got a new band. It's called like, you know, some horrible like metal name. Not his other, I think his other, obviously his one son plays in The Who. I think his other son had some new metal band. And so we were laughing about that. And then we go in the other area, we're shooting the breeze, and Bissonette's like, so where'd your son end up going to school? And yada, 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 yada. And so it's just me and Bissonette and Ringo talking. And I told the story about how when we were in Italy, because one of Dylan's favorite drummers of all time is Steve Gadd. And I was staying at this hotel in Milan, and I'm walking down the stairs, and I open up the stairs to the lobby, and I'm face to face with Steve Gadd. I was like, oh my God, are you Steve Gadd? He's like, yeah, man, who are you? And I said, So we hung out with Steve Gadd. And so I'm telling a fanboy story about Steve Gadd to Ringo into Bissonnet. But Ringo doesn't miss a beat. He's like, man, I've got a great Steve Gadd story. And he starts telling, he goes, one time, and he just tells this. It was just funny as hell. So at one point as I'm telling the Steve Gadd story, I was like, you're telling a Steve Gadd story to a Beatle. Just FYI. That's what my voice in my head was telling me. But he went right with it. So it was all good. And then I said, hey, is it cool to get a picture? Or is that weird? And he's like, hell no, we made you play. So I got a really good picture with him, and that was that. They were cool as hell. So very, very cool. Anyways, folks, those are our stories for the weekend. It's 5:18. We will see you tomorrow at 5. Dylan and I are going to do a little duo thing from here at the Orange Room. So we'll see you then. Have a good weekend up until that point. And then we'll go from there. All right, y'all. We'll see you later.